Welcome back, vinyl fans, to another episode of Let's Clean a Record. I am your cleaning guy. Today, we're going to continue our journey through Last products. If you caught our episode 2 weeks ago, we did a deep dive into the Last record preservative. It's a product designed to prevent microfractures in the vinyl. We found that it improves the sound of the record. Ended up using all of the fluid that we had on hand, so I acquired a new bottle from our friends at Elusive Disc. Great place to pick up Last products and all kinds of stuff from audiophile and record listening. And we sent a note to the folks at Last Factory because I thought they might appreciate that, we really liked their preservative, and they were good enough to send us review samples. They're the first company to do that, so thanks, folks at Last. Here's what they sent. The all-purpose record cleaner, we haven't given this a try yet, but this is basically a light record cleaning fluid intended just for touch-ups. They also send us this one, Power Cleaner. This is intended for brand new pressings to remove contaminants that may remain from the pressing process. That's right, I'm talking about mold release compound. The debate continues, but that's what this is intended for. What we're going to test today is their record cleaning machine fluid. This is a proper record cleaning fluid akin to L'Art du Son or AIVS, and it is intended to be used with suction type machines or string type machines such as the Loracraft or Keith Monk's. We're going to give this one a thorough workout today. We had to pick a record to clean. As I was perusing through the collection, I came across this Doors Greatest Hits, and it really made me laugh because this little note on the back, manufactured by Columbia House under license. For those of you who are not old enough to remember the Columbia House days, it was a record club where you could send in, I think you had to send in a penny, and you could get a whole bunch of records. We all did it. But then, of course, you had to buy overpriced records for many months to come. That's the way it worked. I bet that we have not listened to this. I bet it's been 40 years since I listened to this record. But when I pulled it out of the inner sleeve, I couldn't believe how dirty it was. So I thought, well, this will be a good one to test the Last record cleaning fluid. So let's get to it. Let's clean this record. Okay, fellas, as the name of this product implies, it is intended for record cleaning machines. So we could choose the Loracraft, but we're going to go with the VPI Cyclone today. Sometimes when we try new products, you and I try them together for the first time, but that's not the case today. I've cleaned several records using the Last record cleaning machine fluid, and I will tell you, I like it very much. There's one thing, however, that I would not recommend, and that is the brushes that come with all Last products. If they're white, like this one, they're intended for the record cleaning fluids. If they're golden color, they're intended for the preservative. I love these brushes for the preservative as well as for the light record cleaning fluid when you're just doing a touch-up. They're great for that. They only hold about 3 drops, and that's just perfect for a quick little touch-up. However, I would not recommend that you use these in conjunction with the record cleaning fluid. You want to get a lot of fluid on there and you want to be able to agitate it. So we will go with something like this, the Osage. A VPI brush might work as well. Something that has long bristles that can really agitate the liquid and work up a lather. That's what you want with the record cleaning fluid. I will also say one other thing. This record cleaning fluid does contain alcohol. If you don't like alcohol, then move on to another fluid. It's about 20% alcohol. You can definitely smell it. I'm not concerned if for no other reason than the liquid stays on the record for a very short period of time before it's brought up by the machine. I also find it to be very effective. We've taken pictures of the dirt in the groove. There was quite a bit, and we'll take pictures after we're done cleaning so you can judge for yourself. Let's get to it. Let's clean the doors. Check it out, fellas. This is a 1980 reissue. The other Doors albums there. Anyone remember that? The biography of Jim Morrison? I read it.
Oh gosh, yes.
Back in junior high school. My goodness, this record is hideously dirty. You know, if this were a better quality recording, we might be undertaking a more complex cleaning process, maybe an enzymatic soak. And we'll just focus on how the last does its job. By the way, fellas, check this out. I want to point something out here. You might notice that on the VPI wands, that on this one, we have the original VPI strips on each side. These are aftermarket strips from the Disc Doctor. We've come to believe that the original VPI strips are better used with record cleaning fluid, whereas the aftermarket strips, the Disc Doctors, are better used with the pure water rinse. I just think they work better that way. It's probably going to be 3 or 4 milliliters that you put on there, something along those lines.
Well, you can smell the alcohol, huh?
Yeah. It's 20%, so it's definitely a good amount. That will also help to kill any organic material. It's not something I would want to let soak on the record for a long period of time. You can see this fluid agitates nicely. It lathers up well. I would say almost as well as L'Art du Sang, which has been our go-to for a long time. Now for the pure water. Speaking of water, I believe that Last uses a combination of DI and reverse osmosis water in their record cleaning machine fluid. Tell you, I am increasingly impressed with this record cleaning fluid. That record was absolutely filthy. Let's clean the other side, then we'll get it to the final inspection station for a closer look, and then of course a listen.
You mean you got those fingerprints off from when you were 14 years old?
Exactly, they came off.
How's it look?
It looks great. Looks great. Let's take a closer look and then let's get down to the stereo and give this one a listen. Okay, fellas, before we get to final thoughts, I want to draw your attention to the record over my left shoulder. If you're a jazz fan, you're going to know this one. If you're new to the jazz world, this is John Coltrane's Blue Train. It is an iconic recording, probably one of the finest examples of the hard bop era. I've listened to many different recordings of this particular album, but just picked this one up recently. It is from Blue Note itself, who did the original recording. It's a reissue, 180 gram record, part of their Tone Poet series. And this one is in mono. And I'll tell you what, it is fantastic. So beautifully recorded, beautifully mastered, beautifully pressed. Highly recommend that record. As far as this Doors record is concerned, this is not recommended. In fact, this was pretty awful. The moment I dropped the needle on this one, you could just hear it was terribly tinny. It just didn't sound good at all. I heard Charlie in the other room the moment it started playing let out a, ugh, what's that? It was bad. So lots of greatest hits albums out there of the Doors, many to choose from. If you come across this one, I suggest that you pass. But let's talk about Last's record cleaning machine fluid. I really like this fluid. If you don't mind a high alcohol content and don't intend to let that fluid soak on the record for any significant length of time, it does a fantastic job. We've always considered L'Arc du Son or perhaps AIVS number 15 is our go-to. I think we have a new contender. It's a fantastic record cleaning fluid and of course can be used as part of a larger regimen of cleaning depending on what you need to do with that particular record. But I give it a thumbs up for sure. Okay, folks, normally I would put this away, but this is going to go into the for sale bin. See you at the next record. Disc Doctor does it. I believe MoFi. Sorry about that, folks.